Hi, I'm Matt McFarlin.
Hi, I'm Jay.
Hi, I'm Sarai. We are your hosts. Welcome to the Eastern Echo podcast. Look out for us on campus and on social media at Eastern Echo_podcast on Instagram and at East Echo Podcast on Twitter. Here's Matt with the news.
In news this week, Gretchen Whitmer wins second term as Michigan's governor as voters okay all three state proposals. A $42.5 million renovation of Roosevelt Hall was approved by Eastern Michigan University's Board of Regents. A vintage store, Wordbird, opens in Ypsilanti. Also, a jellyfish research class emerges as EMU and an EMU football player announces plans for a student-athlete book club. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer won her re-election last week against Republican candidate Tudor Dixon. Michigan voters also passed all three state proposals, revolving around reproductive rights, voter rights, and term limits. In Ypsilanti, EMU alumnus Nicole Brown won the race for mayor, being the first black woman elected into the role. In campus news, Eastern Michigan University has plans to renovate Roosevelt Hall. The EMU Board of Regents approved the submission of the renovations, including creation and improvement of modernized classrooms, lecture halls, faculty offices, advising centers, and more. If the state of Michigan approves the funding request, the project will cost an estimated $42.5 million. Funding will consist of 75% state contribution and 25% university contribution. The building is currently 61,106 square feet in size. The building's renovations will make it approximately 75,000 square feet, providing new space for both researching and teaching within these divisions. The building will expand programs of EMU's Game Above College in Engineering and Technology, giving more space in Sill Hall for solely engineering programs. Although the funding has yet to be approved by the state of Michigan, the university is in its early stages of renovation. If this project is approved, the time span to complete this will be about 3 years. Roosevelt Hall will be closed during renovation.
In other news, a vintage store named Wordbird is now open in Ypsilanti. The store features vintage role-playing games and records and is located at 9 South Washington Street. Wordbird opens on November 2nd after receiving a final inspection from the city. The owner of the store, Gates, is an EMU alumni of the class of 2001 and has worked as a software engineer since graduating. He owns Wordbird along with his wife, Brooke Gates. The hours of this store varies, but can be found on their Instagram at WordBirdIpsy. That's at word spelled WYRD .bird BYRD .ipsy.
Returning to campus news, have you ever heard of a class that focuses on researching freshwater jellyfish? Here at EMU, a new biology class was created this year involving researching freshwater jellies occurring in Michigan. The fall 2022 semester is the first time this class has ever been held after being created by Dr. Cara Shillington, who wanted to study freshwater jellies. This semester, the class went on a trip to Pickerel Lake in Cannon Township, Michigan, to collect jellies and record information. Pickerel Lake is one of the places in Michigan where you can see the jellyfishes in their natural habitat. This semester, 17 people have taken this class. You are welcome to join the class in future fall semesters when jellies are active. Any person who has taken Bio 120/121 is welcome to join the class.
Last in campus news, EMU football player Stephen Bird announces plans for a student-athlete book club. The long snapper, who made his debut during a special halftime show on October 29, is working on a new project to start a student-athlete book club. Bird wants to create something for EMU athletes because he feels that athletes here focus so much on athleticism. He believes that EMU athletes should pursue more than just being an athlete. That is why he came up with the idea of a book club for athletes. Bird has a goal of the book club uniting student athletes who enjoy reading and give athletes a space to speak freely about common interests. The book club is still in its beginning phases. However, the first meeting hasn't been announced yet, but for more information and updates on the book club, follow at EMUSAAC on Instagram.
All right, hey everyone, it's Nolan. I'm here to remind you, check out the new Eastern Echo sports podcast, The Block E, hosted by sports editor Blake McCreary with co-hosts Pritish Kokati and Cody Almasi. Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at TheBlockE_.
I'm Matt.
I'm Sarai.
And I'm Jay. We are your host, and this was the Eastern Echo podcast.
My name is Layla. I'm the editor-in-chief at the Eastern Echo, and today I'm here with...
I'm Lada Protcheva. I'm a student at EMU.
And so you came here recently from Ukraine, so do you want to just talk about when and why you came here, basically?
So I came here in March. It was probably like 2 weeks after when the war has started, and I came to Detroit to my sister.
Okay, and your sister, she went to Eastern, right?
Yeah, she graduated from Eastern with bachelor degree.
Okay, cool. And what are you studying at Eastern?
I study computer science, but back in Ukraine, I used to study computer engineering.
Okay, cool. And for people who just don't know, can you just talk a little bit about like what's going on in Ukraine, why you had to come here, and what's currently happening there now?
Okay, so the first day of the war, it was my birthday, and the whole Ukraine was bombed at the same moment, and we had to stay in the basement for 1 week, and it was the same basement when my grandma used to hide from Hitler during World War II, and probably all this time our area was bombed by Russians because our country house and apartments are next to military airports, so we could hear bombing like every day. And probably 1 week later, my dad decided that it's time to leave for me because my sister was waiting for me in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And then he drove me to Moldova border. From Moldova border, I went to Romania, and from Romania to Turkey, and from Turkey to US.
Wow, okay. And just kind of like, do you want to talk about like how you felt during that time and like how that affected you directly?
Okay, yeah. So when it started, I think that nobody could expect it because we heard some news that probably Russia might invade us on February 14th, so they didn't. And then after February 14th, we were like kind of relaxed that, okay, it's over. They just like wanted to fight us or something like that. But when it started, all my friends started to text me that their cities were bombed. So because we live in different parts of Ukraine, and it was probably 4 a.m., so Ukraine was bombed at 4 a.m., whole Ukraine.
Wow. Okay. And then you said that your sister wrote letters to EMU to help you come here. So what did she basically say to EMU, and how did you end up coming here specifically?
So yeah, when I came here, the studying process at my university was stopped because of the war, and we realized that I can't my degree, that I can't finish university, and also EMU, when the war started, they emailed my sister that we support Ukraine. If you need some help, just email us, let us know. So my sister just wrote an email saying that my sister came here and she needs to finish her degree somehow, but she can't do it in Ukraine anymore, and we don't have enough money for tuition.
Okay. So then what did EMU basically do for you to help?
So yeah, they emailed us back saying that probably we will develop a new kind of scholarship for Ukrainians. So we will just let you know if it happens.
Okay.
And I think like 2 months later, they emailed us saying that, yeah, you can apply for this scholarship. We have a new program for Ukrainians.
Okay, that's good. And then how have you felt just being at EMU, and like what have you been a part of here so far?
So I came to EMU first time at 2018, just like to visit my sister. So it was my kind of like of dream to come to the US and be a student here. And all these 2 months, I have been here like for 2 months. I really enjoy the process because all people around are so friendly, and you get actually useful knowledge.
Yeah, that's good. And then like what kind of things have you been a part of here, I would say? Just like at Eastern, like meeting people and stuff like that?
Yeah, I met a lot of international students here because EMU has really huge international students community, and I think that I made probably like at least 20 friends here. It's just like in the first 2 months.
And then like what do you feel that people should know just about like how they could help Ukraine or Ukrainian people here, or like what that Eastern could do to help?
Yeah, also I think that the best option is just like to spread information, not to stay silent, because it's just information war also, because if everybody stays silent, there will be no actions. And also Ukraine needs a lot of volunteers and support to help people who lost their houses, for example,
Yeah.
because a lot of cities in Ukraine are already destroyed.
Yeah, wow. And then just like this is kind of going like back to the other topic, but just like what should people know that has changed since the beginning? Because like you said before, like it's not being talked about as much, but it's not really getting better as well. So like, what should people know about that, and like what needs to happen for it to change there?
What's going on right now in Ukraine?
Yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, Russia still bombs civilians. So, and for example, even the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv, it's bombed probably like once a month, at least once a month. So downtown where like civilians live, they could be bombed at any moment. And also, it's like the most famous and the best university in Ukraine, Shevchenko. Probably one month ago, it was bombed.
Wow.
So it's like this university located in downtown.
Okay. And then is the rest of your family here, or are you just here at Eastern, like with your sister?
My grandma and my dad they're still in Ukraine because my grandma doesn't want to leave country, and my dad just can't leave the country because all men who are under 60 years old, they have to stay in Ukraine in case if they're like drafted or something like that.
Okay. And then just overall, like what else should people know about your story and everything?
I think just like that we still have support people. I'm talking not only about Ukraine because a lot of countries suffer from all these situations. So I think that we should just be kind and help people who needs help and who suffer at this moment, because you can be in the same situation at any moment.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much.